This is Floyd Gray. I'm down here on Clear Creek and it's really cloudy. I may get rained out today, but I'm going to do a little panning for some gold and run my sluice a little bit. And I'm going to flip the Saruka because I'm going to look for some topaz and maybe some faceted sized garnets, faceted sized topaz. Every once in a while you might find a sapphire down here. I found 3 in the last 20 years, so we're just going to kind of enjoy the day a little bit. Okay, I just washed and flipped my first Saruka, and as you can see, it has a pretty good size dark center in it. And that's mostly pyrites and red hematites, magnetic black sands, magnetic hematite black. But if you look real close, I'll see if I can find, this is hard to do with one hand, but we're looking for topaz. And right there, you can see between the tweezers, that's a small topaz. See if I can get it in focus here. I'm not too good at doing this with one hand. But that's a small topaz. Really can't tell on the video, but there's nothing to focus it to but my hand. Oop, it's starting to rain. But that's a small topaz. The topaz will be just on the outside edge of this and some few in the middle. If you see anything sitting straight up looking at you right here, right on top when you flip it, that could very well be a sapphire or a garnet. And I seen another topaz right over in here. There's another small topaz. You can tell the topaz from quartz because topaz is round and smooth, and they're 8 on the hardness, where quartz is 6.5 to 7. This is just I'm not real good at filming close up with my cell phone camera, so bear with me. I'm down here by myself, and I'm just going to run a few Sarukas, and I'm catching the finds through the screen in my big gold pan. I'm running it through the sluice. Look for a little gold while I'm doing gems. Okay, I picked out a few here. Just to give you an idea, these are really too small to facet, but there's a little garnet to give you an idea. Some of the colors of the garnets around here is really pretty. These are small topaz, and these up here are quartzes, but you can tell definitely when you test the hardness of them whether or not they're topaz or quartz. But these are definitely topaz here in this area. See, they range from yellows to clears. Not very big, but every once in a while you find a gemmy grade topaz. And it's worth flipping a few Sarukas. This is a piece of fossilized, I guess it's abalone shell. It's got some pyrites on the back. It's a time-consuming process, but every once in a while you find something pretty exciting. A lot of people don't realize there are topaz and nice garnets here in Missouri from the glaciers, but they make it down here. But they really, of course, topaz fractures really easy, so you mostly find tiny little pieces of topaz. Every once in a while you find a big one. I've been running the Saruka over my largest gold pan, and instead of panning it out, it takes a while to pan that fine sand out. Just to see if there's a little gold in it, I set my sluice up, and I'm just going to run it through the sluice, see what I get. I have to have my hands for that, or I'd film a little bit doing it. It's a real nice day today. Creek's up just a little bit, just enough to get the water going. A few little pieces of foam floating down. There's an old tire I dug up there. I'm going to haul it out of the creek here. Fine junk every once in a while comes from upstream. But this is a nice spot to look for gems. And any place, a lot of people think Clear Creek's a special place because I put a lot of Clear Creek gold videos, Missouri gold videos here. But about any creek with this kind of rock, this is a huge piece of granite. And to give you an idea, this is my foot. So, of course that's my foot. But that's a pretty good sized boulder. But anybody that has a small stream or creek behind their house that has this type of rock in it, I guarantee you has some gold in it and probably some topaz. Everything that's found in Clear Creek here. There's the rock I'm digging the material behind. It's a big piece of granite. Sloped just right to catch behind it. Another rock beside of it to help pull the heavies down. A little pile here at the head of it. Another big piece of granite. Then you have the old river channels that wash out. Like this spot right here beside this tire. This is an old river channel from many years ago. But as you can see, as it washes and erodes out, all the bigger rock and the heavy rock, heavy material, slicker on this hard pack. Let's see how red and rusty. A lot of garnet, rust, dark stones. There's the old channel. It takes more than just a small stream to round these granite boulders off. It took a river. So at one time, this whole area was probably a small river from the glacial melt. Big enough to roll these boulders around like this and make them smooth on the edges. You have to think about this small stream. A few thousand years ago, this wasn't a small stream. This would probably have made the Missouri River look like a little creek. And then you have the high banks here, really high, that wash off. Can't see them for the leaves, but those are high clay banks. And where they cut in and erode off like those upstream here. No bedrock here, but there's a lot of good hard packed clay, and it's just as good as bedrock to catch heavies. Any little pothole, any little crevice or crack in it will catch it just like bedrock. Well, get back to running the sluice, feed it a while. This is another thing I like to do down here is these hard packed clay, old silt from about around the Ice Age. Silted in, turns into hard pack, but you run across things like this. This is a piece of wood that's in the clay, and it's being replaced by pyrite. This may be a piece of fir, but to be this embedded in the clay at this level, as you can see, it's part of wood that's been torn up by the glaciers and deposited here, and it's 90% pyrite. And we have another piece here I pulled up. This is a small limb, and it's the same way. It's about 90% pyrite and carbon. Here's another piece of that ancient driftwood. It's buried in the clay. It's replaced by pyrite. I'm going to try to dig it up and see how big it is. If I get it dug up, I'll lay it alongside the hole and take another short video of it. This stuff is very old. It still has wood fiber, but it's mostly pyrite, replaced by pyrite. Here's a little bit of gold I got yesterday. I cleaned out my snuffer bottle, a few little fly poops and a couple little chunky ones, 2 or 3 little ones. Of course, I wasn't really after gold, I was after gems yesterday, but just a short video to show you there was a little gold in the light sands I was catching. Well, here's the topaz that I got from yesterday. Oops, shadows. I can't get around the shadows here. These are a couple topaz. I know they're not in focus, but these are a couple that I've faceted from the creek. Topaz, a little tiny, teeny tiny oval. Oops, and round, brilliant. I know they're not coming out real clear, but I found 2 nice facetable topaz. This one right here. Let's see if I can focus it a little bit better. I know the sun's kind of bright here, but this one here is real nice facet topaz. I'm gonna get it in the shadow, shade here a little bit. And other topaz, garnets, and a couple that I cut. I think it's a little better in the shadow. But there's 2 nice topaz, facetable. This one's a little cloudy. This one here, I'll wet it. See if I can get it to show up a little better. Well, not quite. But yes, you can find some nice topaz in this creek, in all the creeks in northwestern Missouri. And thanks for watching the videos, and we'll catch you later.